Shalom, and welcome to the Pirke of the week. This week we are continuing to move through chapter 2, and this is the sixth teaching. He used to say, an empty-headed person cannot be sin-fearing, and an ignorant person cannot be pious. And a person who is shy cannot learn, and an impatient person cannot teach. And someone who is immersed in business cannot become wise. And in a place where there are no human beings, strive to be human. Let's look at these one at a time. An empty-headed person cannot be sin-fearing. We are not born knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is something that we must learn. An ignorant person cannot be pious. This is parallel to the previous teaching. We must dedicate ourselves to studying both texts as well as the examples of individuals whose values we want to incorporate into our lives. I think that being pious is something different than being religiously observant. To me, piety is about having a sense of kavod, of honor in how we treat each other, and a sense of awe, yirah, in how we relate to the world. A person who is shy cannot learn. Asking questions is fundamental to the Jewish way of approaching the world, and it is vital to our learning. If we feel awkward, embarrassed to ask a question, how will we ever learn the answer? And an impatient person cannot teach, again, in a parallel expression. The teacher must convey a sense of openness to questioning and a willingness to explain to us more than once when we have trouble grasping a concept. Someone who is immersed in business cannot become wise. I imagine that there are individuals who are fully absorbed in the business world and yet gain much wisdom from their experience. However, as I have witnessed in my husband's life, he works in a business environment, it can be pretty rough and tumble, and not necessarily conducive to the cultivation of kindness and equanimity. In chapter 1, we already learned that we're supposed to love work. Hillel is reminding us here that work is not the only thing, that we shouldn't be obsessed with work to the exclusion of our own spiritual development. So it may be a bit more of a challenge in the business world to evidence wisdom. Finally, in a place where there are no human beings, strive to be human. The original text refers to men. I'm suggesting a gender-sensitive translation. Rabbi Lord Jonathan Sacks, alav hashalom, translates, in a place where there are no worthy people, strive to be worthy. Clearly, Hillel is reminding us that in whatever environment we find ourselves, we need to always remember that we are at Tselem Elohim, an image of God, and behave accordingly. We are urged to stand up for what is right, even if it might be unpopular. We might paraphrase this teaching as be a mensch, a kind, compassionate, empathetic, humble, generous person. Jacob Neusner translates this final clause as, in a place where there are no individuals, be an individual. What a great thought to begin our week. Embrace and express our individuality, and we might add honor the individuality of others. Shavua Tov and blessings for a joyous first days of Hanukkah.